spoken to by an officer. He ran into that in the middle of a conversation. There's an officer standing here speaking to this group of black kids. Calmly, no issues. He jumps in the middle, pushes them down, sit down, get on the ground right now, and then runs off after a couple more kids standing in the street and not doing anything, tells them to get over in the grass to sit down, throws them in handcuffs, goes after the group of girls, telling them, get out of here, leave, go away. They say something, leave, get out of here, go away. They start walking away. He goes and grabs one and slams her to the ground. Does it matter what she said? Really? She's walking away. You're a police officer. Your job is supposed to be able to act rationally, to be able to diffuse a situation. He did nothing to diffuse a situation. His actions, his behavior, it instigated. It instigated the issue. It instigated more trouble. It was inflammatory. His language was inflammatory. His actions were unnecessary. How do I know it was unnecessary? Two things. He was the only one running around yelling at kids to get on the ground. The other two officers were standing around having conversations with the kids and letting them know. Okay? Speaking to them calmly and rationally. You hear that on the video. If his actions were necessary, why weren't the other two officers doing the exact same thing he was doing? Point number one. Point number two. When he actually went and grabbed the girl, slammed her to the ground, and then other people thought he was about to start beating on her, and they stepped up, said, hey, wait, no, leave her alone. He stood up and pulled his gun. What did one of the officers do? They ran over to him. One of them pulled his arm back like, no, you don't want that. He ran over and grabbed his arm. If his actions were actually justified, the other officers would not have been trying to stop him. They would have been doing the exact same thing. They would have seen the same threat that he saw. They were there. In fact, he's not even the one who uncuffed the young lady. Another officer did that. That tells me that the other officer realized this has gone bad. And then beyond all of that, in the aftermath, what has happened? One, he was, I don't want to say suspended because I don't remember if that's exactly what happened. But at the very least, he was on leave. Two, he has resigned. He walked away from the job. Okay? Why would he walk away from the job if he was justified in all of his actions? Why? I'll tell you why. One, he's probably going to get a whole bunch of money donated to him. They're going to raise a fund just like they did for Darren Wilson for shooting Mike Brown. Just like they did for George Zimmerman for killing Trayvon Martin. They do this. So race becomes an issue because not only is the actions of the officer justified directly justified. He justifies his own actions. The police department backs him up. And then the fact that he's not charged most of the time, many times, they're not charged or they're not convicted or whatever the situation is. That becomes a direct approval, essentially. But then how does that affect the rest of the country? How does that affect the community? They donate money to the people who are killing the black kid. The guy is on trial, the guy should be, let me not say should be, because I'm not the person who makes the laws. But the question should at least be asked, hey, was this necessary? Before that even gets thoroughly addressed, there is an account set up to reward this person. So I'm anticipating this guy is going to be, I'm not going to say a millionaire because I don't know, but the community is already putting up signs. Thank you for protecting our community. Thank you for protecting us, police department. Protecting us? Who? Your community? The neighborhood? What about the black kids who lived in the neighborhood? They, are the police supposed to protect them too? Was that police officer protecting either the girl as a member of that community or himself? If you look at the actions of the other officers, no. I have an issue with people like Tommy Sotomayor, who feel like they have valid points. It's convoluted thinking to use the same racial slurs that have been used to degrade black people for hundreds of years and think you're doing any good. I don't know if he thinks he's doing any good, but he isn't. It's convoluted thinking. It's self-defeating. You're calling yourself dumb. You're calling yourself, and every time you talk about somebody, you're saying the same thing about yourself. I don't understand. And I can't support it. Now, my issue with the radio show host, he gave his account. And I understand that. I don't have a problem with him giving his account. It's the events as he saw them. And if they're accurate, who am I to say they're not? Who am I to say this didn't really happen? If that's what happened. That's what happened. My issue with him is the way he looked past what the real problem is. You're right. There are bigger problems in the black community that we need to address. One of those issues is how police view black people. One of those issues is how it seems like they view us as lesser humans, lesser persons, as though we don't have rights. We don't have the same rights. How many times have you seen a white person be able to yell and berate the police, and the police say, you know what, sir, I just need you to calm down. Just calm down. Or you know what, okay, we're done here. Majority of the black people I know use sir a lot when addressing the police. And yet the perception is we act like animals and we are a threat to them. If you really take it into consideration, it seems like officers show up. And then, of course, not all officers and not all black people. But in these instances, in these types of situations, it seems like the officers show up with the mindset that I'm going to have to protect myself from this person. Show up already in the mindset of, I need to make them comply. I need to